So this is an introduction to the GAB Podcast, the GAB Podcast. I really wanted to deliver a podcast for two reasons. To show the technical day in, day out what we do as a building consultancy, and also run through the business side of things, how a consultancy business works, how I set up the practice, and how I continue to learn and develop on running a business moving forward. So the first part of the podcast will be running through what work we do, how we do it, fairly technical, probably for those colleagues and friends who are in the industry. We'll try and keep it entertaining, we'll try and keep it light, try not to be too dull, because we are conscious that we can be, and bring the team in and talk about what they're working on and the challenges they've faced and what they've enjoyed doing. And the second part of the podcast really will be the business side of it, so running a consultancy business, what that looks like, how it's set up, our progress to date. And we'll also be bringing in partners that we work with, so architects, consultants, and other professionals that have trod the same path in setting up on their own or are in the corporate world and how that differs, and talking more about the business behind the consultancy world, and following that journey and lessons learned. A little introduction into GAB. I set up GAB 2.5 years ago now, on my own, after a successful career in employment in both York and Leeds. Ended up being the most senior building surveyor at a regional practice in Leeds, and then decided it was time to jump ship and set up on my own, something I'd always wanted to do. And yeah, here we are, sort of 2.5 years later. 7 people are in the office, and we've got a strong repeat client base. We predominantly work in education, conservation, ecclesiastical and community interest projects. So how I sort of describe it to people outside of the industry is they're the clients that need our help, not want our help. So they'll have a building or they'll need a building for their interest, whether that be to deliver worship or in a school environment to deliver education. But they won't have the expertise in-house to maintain, adapt, alter, build new facilities for themselves. So that hand-holding, that extra bit of care is where we position ourselves in the market. The majority of what we do is education, and we retain clients. I don't mean contractually, I just mean that they keep coming back to us. We know their buildings inside out. They can pick up the phone and we can advise them. And that's where we sort of position ourselves in the market. We're quite proudly local, have a bit of a rule that we tend not to drive more than an hour anywhere. That just means that we focus our time on delivering what we do, the technical aspect of what we do, and not sitting in the car. A successful 2.5 years to date. We also try and bring something different to the work environment. So we're quite a young team. We have a lot of fun, and we develop as a team as we grow. I wanted to try something differently to the conventional consultancy practice. Different strategies for progression, benefits and things like that as well, because I think that brings the best out of all of us. You'll be introduced to the team, so they may tell you otherwise, but I'd hope not. And I hope you listen to the podcast and find it mildly interesting.